Next up, we got Diablo. I'm going to put Diablo under not the best, but would play again because of Diablo 3, pretty much. I've tried Diablo 1 and 2. They weren't my cup of tea at the time. And then I played 3 and really loved 3. I kind of want to go back and give Diablo 2 or Diablo 1 or 2 a shot, just to see if I would be into it now that I'm a little bit older. But yeah, it ranks up there for me. Mario Kart. Okay, so Mario Kart is a franchise I'm going to put under not the best, but would play. No, I'm struggling. Like, if I could pick a spot, it would be here. It would be in between not the best in the world would play, or not the best but would play again, and best of the best. Because here's the problem. The only thing keeping me from wanting to put it on best of the best, I have seen and been through friendships that have ended over that blue shell. And you think I'm bullshitting, where people take it way too serious. I'm still going to put it up for best of the best. Probably my favorite racing game franchise of all time. Probably is my favorite racing game franchise of all time. Mario Kart is such an amazing game. I've never heard anybody that's played it that says they hate it unless they had just lost a race on some bullshit. Because I've said I've hated it before. I know I didn't hate it. Like, in my heart, I knew I didn't hate it. But at that just particular moment, I could have burned that game. Great fun, though, especially if you can get with friends. I have it for the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully I can stream it and race against some of you guys sometime. That would be absolute fun. Fallout goes under not for me. Here's why. And that's definitely going to hurt a lot of your guys' opinions of me. Which, I mean, if my opinion on how I feel about a game ruins your opinion of me, that's kind of shitty. So the reason why it's not for me, I did not play Fallouts 1, 2, or New Vegas. I tried Fallout 3 when Fallout 3 first came out. And the controls, I did not like the controls. I thought the shooting was terrible. And I was really stoked to try and play it. I really wanted to play Fallout. I really wanted to like it because I heard they had like all these decisions you were able to make that actually changed the course of the game. But I couldn't make it past an hour because the shooting was just wretched. Oh, so terrible. So, Fallout 4 is announced. Everyone's excited. I have extra money to blow. I pre-order it because I'm like, fuck it. I'll at least try it. I get Fallout 4. I get 10 minutes into the game. You get to the scene after the bombs have gone where they come and find you and your wife and your kid and everything that happens. Literally, I paused the game. I walked upstairs. My brother was at the same point. And I told him, I was like, you know what's going to happen, right? He's like, what? And I told him what happened. He's like, did you watch a video that like ruined the ending? I said, nah. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I have a feeling. I play through the game. I get to the point where one of those people come back into your life. And I was right. I was right. My brother, a couple days later, comes to me and he's like, how the fuck did you know that's how it ended? I just had a feeling, man. It was predictable to me. And then my other big problem, and I hate when games do this, Telltale is notorious for it. I hate when games tell you you have all these decisions that you can make and your decisions matter, but in the end, Fable was the absolute worst of this. In the end, only the last decision mattered. No matter what you did throughout the rest of the game, the only decision that really matters in the conclusion of the game is the last one you have to make. With Fable, you could be as evil or as good as you want, but at the end of Fable 1, depending on which sword you grab depends on how it's going to end for you. Or Telltale, you get to make one final decision, and it's always the same decision, regardless of how the rest of your path went. Shit like that. But again, I got to the point where I had to make the decisions at the end of Fallout 4, and that's where I stopped playing because I was like, I don't care what decision I make. I'm not happy with the game at this point. It's just not for me. It just wasn't for me. The shooting was a lot better in Fallout 4. I'll give him that. Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk. I love Tony Hawk games. And you know, I agree with the fans' disgust of the new Tony Hawk only on one point. and that's they shipped a broken game, and if you didn't have online to patch it on day one, then you weren't able to play it. And I think that's a really shitty practice. I don't think there should... I hate day one patches. We'll get into that story another day. But Tony Hawk is a franchise I have absolutely loved. And actually, the newest Tony Hawk that came out that everyone hated, I loved that they went back to the timed runs and things like that. It was one of my favorite aspects. I don't like open world Tony Hawk. I like timed runs like 1 and 2 and 3 and even 4. Once the Underground came around, things kind of got wavy for me. But other than that, Tony Hawk is going to go for me. Not the best, but would play again. Amazing series. Monster Hunter. Not for me. Everybody made a big deal of the new Monster Hunter franchise, and I bought the Monster Hunter that was on the Wii U. Played it with a friend for a couple days, didn't go back to it. Went and bought Monster Hunter 4, I think was the new one, or Monster Hunter World, or whatever the fuck it was called. I went out and bought it because some friends were like, "Dude, you need to get it. You need to come play with us." And I got it on my Xbox One, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna come play with you guys." And I started playing with them. You know what happened? They told me, "Oh, dude, whenever you get the game, we'll run around and do the quests with you." And then I started playing. We'd all be on at the same time. I was like, "Hey, you guys want to come help me with this quest?" "No, we're busy. We're over here doing this." And Monster Hunter is a game that's actually really hard to do things on your own because of how it's built. And it's one thing to have like your video game friends be like, "Oh yeah, we'll do something with you," and then they don't, because you don't know what they're going through in their lives. You don't know what they're dealing with. But when it's your own personal friends tell you they're going to help you out, and then they're like, "Oh, we've got too many other busy things we got to do to be able to help you," that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth for Monster Hunter as a game. I haven't gone back to play it since. I still love my friends to death, don't get me wrong. But the combat in it is also very slow and methodical, and you have to like think about how you're going to trap the enemy or trap the monster, how you're going to hunt them down. If you don't hunt them down quick enough, they can fly away and get away. So all the work that you did for the last 30 to 45 minutes on that monster was for nothing. Just it's not my style. Peggle, I'm going to put Peggle under feels like wasted time. It's just another mobile-ish style of game. This is going to be a really long video. I am so sorry, guys, but we're over halfway through the list. Crackdown is a very good Microsoft exclusive franchise that will go under worth a playthrough. I don't think it was amazing. Crackdown 2 was, in my opinion, a lot worse than the first one. Or maybe it was just more of the same, which is why it felt worse. You know? But it was a good game. It's worth at least a playthrough. I would go and check that out. Borderlands is another franchise that is just going to go... Let me move it, damn you. I'm actually going to put Borderlands under not for me, for a lot for the same reasons of Fallout. I think the shooting on it is not that good. It's forced humor. Claptrap is the worst character in gaming. I find Claptrap worse than Navi in Zelda. Jim, I know you have a thing against Fi. I didn't get to experience Fi in actual video game form. She wasn't bad on Hyrule Warriors. She was just bad to play with. But Borderlands, again, is just it's not for me. It's just not my style of shooters. I have Borderlands 2 or 3 or whichever one was the newest one that's not out yet. Or that is out. You know what I mean. But I have it on PC. I played it with the Reapers. It was fun playing with the Reapers, but they all knew what they were doing, and I was running around like a chick with my head cut off. I think we made it about 2 hours into the game, and I still didn't really know what I was doing. Gran Turismo would go in the middle. It felt like wasted time and not for me. I had a lot of fun with it at one point. I think it was Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation. With one of my buddies, his name was Brian. We played the shit out of it. He was really good at the whole tuning the cars to fit specific tracks and things like that. And then I was really good at just the actual physical racing. I'm going to put it under not for me, though, because, again, it's just a more technical racing game. And it's just... They actually legit had, like, world circuits where, like, you had to do, like, 75 or 100 laps in a city track. And that's just... You're talking about... That's like 2 hours of sitting there racing. Dynasty Warriors, for me, goes under not the best, but would play again. My favorite Dynasty Warriors game is Hyrule Warriors. For those of you that don't know, the people that made Dynasty Warriors is the same people that made Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors is basically Dynasty Warriors just with a Zelda overcoat. Splatted on. with a good story. Not that Dynasty Warriors story was bad. It's just Dynasty Warriors story has been the same story in every game they've put out for the last 15, 20 years. That's their only downfall. And they've changed some things that lately that have kind of, you know, shit on the series for me. But I love the franchise. It's fun, pointless hack and slash. You don't have to think too much other than when you're fighting generals for the most part. Still a good game. Great franchise. Check it out. Half-Life is going to go into not the best but would play again. Now, please understand this, guys. I love Half-Life. I do. I've played Half-Life 1. I've beaten Half-Life 2 about 4 times. The reason why it's going to go under not the best but would play again for me is because the story is not finished. And for whatever fucking reason, Valve is like notorious for, we're going to give you 2 games and then we're going to tease you the 3rd game for the rest of your fucking life. Why, Valve? Give us a 3rd in one of your franchises, please. Left 4 Dead 3. Fucking Half-Life 3. Maybe a fucking, what was the other one that's down here? Where the fuck? Portal. Portal 3. Give us a Portal 3. A 3rd of something. You know what the 3rd we're going to get is? It'll be Team Fortress 3. Fuckers. Wolfenstein has always felt like a wasted time to me. I was more of a fan of like Doom. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so fun to go around shooting Nazis. What? I guess if you're into that kind of thing, I'd rather shoot monsters other than shooting people. And don't get me wrong, I don't agree, not even the slightest bit, of what went on back then. And I understand the hate, but I didn't grow up in it. And I'm not the type of person that, I don't know, shooting monsters is just more fun than shooting people to me. It really is. Although the Mecha Hitler thing at Wolfenstein was pretty cool. But yeah, like, and Duke Nukem was like Doom with a sense of humor, which was even better. Why is Duke Nukem not on this list? You're shitting the bed, guys. Anyways, Mario Party. I'm going to put Mario Party on worth a playthrough just because there's been like 2 out of the 8 they've put out that are good. We're just going to leave it at that. Guess where this is going, guys? This is some of y'all's favorite game franchise of all time, especially Skyrim. Never played it. I own it. It's again, okay, technically I have played it. I played it for 10 minutes. I count that as not playing it because, and again, even the 10 minutes that I played wasn't bad. It's hard for me to have the time to play a game that big, especially when you're a completionist like me and you want to do everything. You know damn well I would be on that game for a year and a fucking half. There's just way too many other games out there for me to play. I'll eventually stream it though. At least get through the main story.